He was found by the Bureau of Statistics to be one against whom there was no official complaint, and all the reports on his conduct agree that, in the modern sense of an old-fashioned word, he was a saint. For in everything he did, he served the greater community.
You and I may be different. Our households might look nothing alike. Our first words may vary. Oozing in improbable uniqueness, we revolve around our own worlds, striving to be heard. We might as well have our own memory boxes tucked away somewhere safely, with a padlock as big as a watchdog neatly placed next to it. That is just rich. But by some deep, sad knowledge, you know, and I know, and he knows, and she knows, and they know that we are identical constituent parts, melted together by the caring, crafty hands of CEOs and HRs and algorithms and entry-level dashboard architects to form the scariest golem of modernity. Cells interlinked, we have become I've worked in corporate all my conscious life. Worked at it for so long, it's like they gave me Slack access for my first birthday. Each day feels monotone, like a small piece of that big mosaic in churches. Add thousands of pieces together and you have yourself a career. A brief moment in time reaching for the next piece, I would call life. Proudly call it my own. Enough time given, there'd be a luxury of scrolling YouTube, watching people reach for their pieces. I've never talked about this on the channel before, provided instinctively rejection and distrust are always present when watching any vulnerable video. So, forgive my frankness, but I'd like to talk about you and me and what building those mosaics has turned us into.
The press are convinced that he bought a paper every day and that his reactions to advertisements were normal in every way.
The Nothing Man emerges from business centers and parking lots and home offices and small forgotten towns and roams the earth, relying on recommendation systems to guide him to happiness. The Nothing Man is born small and fragile like a dandelion seed. It is later the Nothing Man is taught pleasures of egotism. It makes the Nothing Man strong. To be strong, you have to consume strength and share it with none. The Nothing Man needs to eat and drink and feel and smell and touch and wear and be impressed more than anything else in the world. Eating less today than the day before is self-betrayal, a crime of the worst degree. Obsessed and lonely, the Nothing Man finds the corporation.
He was married and added 5 children to the population, which our eugenist says was the right number for a parent of his generation.
Like so many families of modernity, mine was a little bit on the distant end. Working tirelessly to guarantee my comfortable existence at the start of the 21st century, my folks had to live shooting 3 birds at once. Waiting for them at home was a shallow endeavor, and slowly, their absence had grown into my independence. But even looking at butterflies, one can make out the silhouette of a caterpillar. The gnawing aftertaste of absence remained deep as I marched through my teenage years. Until the corporation, the biggest foster parent in history, reached its surrogate arm and placed me in the warmth of a surrogate living room. the open space office.
Except for the war, till the day he retired, he worked in a factory and never got fired, but satisfied his employers, Fudge Motors, Inc.
The circuit of love is abundant in the new family. Our siblings are plentiful and orderly, each serving their role. In a symphony of unity and quarterly goals, you find pieces of yourself scattered across every surrogate brother and sister. Each of their pieces now you find within, of course, like glistening crystals, fractals of team efficiency. Such blissful abnegation that is. Our mothers, we call them the human relations, tell us how to live, and our fathers, we call them the board, tell us where to step and how to see all else. Next year, we'll even have a family trip to new foreign markets. They say Japan is so profitable at this time of year. And it's very easy with Christmas, too. Each of us just wants Santa to bring bonuses. And if he doesn't, we'll destroy his operation and boil him.
Yet he wasn't a scab or odd in his views, for his union reports that he paid his dues.
My first corporation was a gambling corporation in the business of online casinos promotion. Now, the job there is relatively simple. You take a guy by his sleeve and show him dreams coming true, and you take him to a place where dreams come true and claim the profits per dreamer. If you asked me back then what I did for a living, well, I'd say turning more folks into dreamers. You buy some ads, you bring a player to a casino, and the player pays the casino, and the casino pays me, right? The most delicious way to eat is called revenue share. Now, you bring a player, and if you're just about lucky enough, the casino will pay you 20 to 30% of all player losses. And I said not one time only, forever, every loss. Now, imagine a guy who's desperate enough to gamble his car away. That still sends a pleasant murmur down my spine just imagining this. And suppose a player he just doesn't have anything else to gamble but his house. It's crazy, because if you bring 3 miseries like that into the world, you automatically become a proud house owner that nothing man has to eat. The biggest market for any gambling promoter was, and always will be India and Pakistan. If you stumble into Dharavi slums in Mumbai and ask any gentleman to open up his phone and show it to you, you will see our ads just placed in, selling the dream of leaving the Dharavi slums rich. Billions of people like that. You take one, you bring him, you get the money, that's $7, and you move on. You move on to his neighbor, you move on to his thin son, to his famished daughter. We'll pay Meta, and they'll show your kids everything that we want. You know, your kids love Instagram, don't they? That's just one tribe of nothing man conducting transactions with another. In some sense, we are the ones keeping the Dharavi slums together.
Our researchers into public opinion are content that he held the proper opinions for the time of year. When there was peace, he was for peace. When there was war, he went.
If fate ever leads you to tarnished, tired lands of modern conflict, you'll see slouching, exhausted soldiers returning from the line of contact. Their sizable paychecks come once a month, and with them, the need for a sizable celebration. And you know it, my corporation will be there, guiding them with advertisements that feel like living to the place that makes them forget about dying. I have never understood soldiers' plan. No amount of jackpot money can get them out of their war, you see. I guess ducking under bullets all day makes a man sort of accustomed to playing. Winning is living. Everybody want to live. Sides are irrelevant, and so is the currency. There's a corporation that changes any colored money into the stable green crypto dollar. According to some reports, up to 60% of soldiers in active warfare are involved in online gambling. The Nothing Man has obviously underperformed. We have never questioned our ethics or worried about ethical implications of what we were doing. All we knew is that everybody working needed a car, a sport car, a big house, and a cool Vêtements shirt that is very expensive, just to quench that hunger. You see, in my mind, it was never the people on the screen, only numbers. And numbers are easy and pleasant and convenient and simple because you can't question numbers. The bigger the number goes in your screen, the better you feel. The aftertaste of that worldview is still present. I see you as numbers. Trying not to, but still do. What would numbers want to see me do today? If the numbers guide me, I go. If the numbers tell me I'm miserable, well, then I have to be. How can any reasonable man argue with math? In the beginning of time, someone smart and powerful ruled that there are to be markets. Markets shall expand and deepen, conquer more soil and more souls or they die. Departments were conceived as the blood and muscle of markets. And inside, molecules of people hustle with atoms of lives in their hands. And the department heads commune the news transcribed by AI meeting assistants from above. Workers are to deepen their dedication and engagement in accordance to what market expansion demands. The nothing men, of course, heed the call. Stay late and, unthinkably, feast less. But now, a certain worry takes place where the feeling of belonging rested. Is a force bigger, more insidious, to which the nothing tribe have entrusted their loneliness and love, about to consume them? Some go through bullying and scrutiny, and some go through witnessing bullying and scrutiny and feeling resentful and secretly whipping themselves because being a witness is filthy. Some befriend boredom, and it spreads within them like cancer. Soon enough, it's just nuts and bolts and sleeping in on weekends for them. Some stick to the putrid body of the office due to crunches or overtime, and some are diligently burned off with layoffs like botflies off the cattle. It doesn't matter. The hunger is already there. Open your soul up if you still remember how, and you'll see it stack flamed in. The interest rate on the loan just keeps on rising, and you start coming up short. The anger begins to ferment. Despite all the anger forming, I've always felt that
Was he free?
well, escape
Was
is
he
impossible.
happy? The question
No
is
way
absurd.
out.
Had anything
Not
been
after you
wrong,
get the
we should
taste.
certainly have heard.
Not after you start talking differently. If you want to change anybody's world, change their language. Conversion. Click-through rate. Engagement. Shareholders. Product value. Speak and munch on those words and chew and feel the plastic. CTR. Run home now, because the corporation always cares about the amortization of its assets. They hate you for running home, and they hate you for possessing those recuperation hours. But run home, grin wide into the mirror, and if you still see anything in the reflection, open, and grin wide, and follow the lips and the tongue. LTV. No way out. Fuzz it out. There's a corporation that helps you fuzz it out. Open TikTok, or is Reels more of your thing? Please sit well. Yum. My Roman Empire is thinking just how empty you are. Get your AirPod Maxes out. Let's listen to that new Clips album. Fantano gave it a 10. Spell it out, dipshit. Speak and munch on those words and chew and feel the plastic. Your EGO is a strong 0 to a light 1. X the Everything app comes for the rescue. Yes, Bella Ramsey was in miscast. Remember the last and the first time you played Last of Us? 2013. On a rented PS3. Your mother was watching you play. On a big TV, remember? She had never watched you play before. She then drifted off to her sleep. and he had to turn the volume down, sit closer to the TV. Your mother is gone now. Nobody to call, huh? The corporations have to win every day, malevolently, intellectually. And plans for the day have to be set to give the machine life. And deadlines are to be drawn to inhibit life at the right moment. At dusk, the Black Horde with spreadsheets and dashboards studies people to produce hunger. In the morning, the White Horde with billing systems and algorithms and ads in hand sells remedies for the hunger produced the night before. And the cycle is to last 1,000 years and 10,000 years after that, because efficiency is immortality. But the corporations, their heads blabbered on between themselves and in their sleep, and they knew that if the Nothing Men ever woke up to themselves, if their hunger was ever to be exposed as a fraud it always had been, if the Nothing Men remembered for more than a spark how full they felt touching and hugging the luscious grass near their true family homes, or how magical was the iridescent glare of the dragonfly in the sun, or mother's hands and their soft embrace at night that made the night go away, then, in just a fraction of a thought, it would be the end. If one wakes, the rest wake up after, because I'm a brother to you and you are to all else. Mere dreams for one are possibilities for many. My name is Arslan. That is A-R-S-L-A-N. And I don't want to be the Nothing Man any longer. I'm melancholic, troubled a lot of the times. I have this stage fright thing in front of the camera where I get nervous and stagger and redo takes up to 30 times. That makes my video production a little bit slow, which makes me especially nervous. I've always wanted to be someone else for you. Someone better. But I could never really explain why, even knowing full well how wrong that is. I try to prove that I'm worth something through the lens of your approval. Don't even know who I'm proving it to. Vulnerable videos are often met with distrust and contempt and ridicule, perhaps for a good reason. But at least for once, I'd like you to see me as I come. So, hi. How are you doing?